It began, as all the best memories do, in the hush of an ordinary evening. Picture this: curtains drawn against the dark, the faint clink of teacups, slippers scuffing across worn carpet. The heart of the room, a sturdy wooden television set, sat waiting, a silent promise. As Dad fiddled with the dial, the screen flickered, bathing everyone in that ghostly silver glow. For a moment, the world shrank to the size of the living room. Here we were, 3 generations squashed onto the settee, eyes wide, holding our breath for the first note of the theme tune. You could almost taste the anticipation, mingling with the smell of stewed tea and coal fire. Back then, television felt like a special guest, mysterious, unpredictable, slightly crackly around the edges. And as those black and white shapes danced into life, something shifted in the air, a sense that we were part of something bigger. But was it the telly that made the night magical, or simply the way we came together? That's the question we'll explore. If you close your eyes, you might just hear it, the collective hush settling over the nation as the clock struck 8. Back then, television wasn't background noise. It was the main event. With only 2, then 3, channels to choose from, everyone tuned in at the same time. Appointment viewing wasn't just a phrase. It was a ritual. Families gathered in living rooms up and down the country, united by the glowing screen in the corner, waiting for the evening's lineup: news, comedy, or perhaps a spot of drama. In the early days, there was only the BBC, stately, reassuring, a voice that seemed to belong to everyone. Then, in 1955, ITV arrived with a flash of commercial excitement, opening up a new world of adverts, popular shows, and regional accents. Suddenly, you could watch Coronation Street in Manchester, or The Avengers down south, and it felt as though Britain was growing larger and more connected, yet cozier, all at once. And, oh, those national moments. When the Queen addressed the nation or the moon landing was broadcast live, neighbors who barely nodded on the street found themselves shoulder to shoulder in someone's front room, eyes glued to the same flickering images. Television turned strangers into companions, if only for an evening. It's easy to forget now, with endless choices at our fingertips, just how precious those shared hours once were. We waited, together, for our stories, our news, our place in the world. That collective anticipation was part of the magic, and it is something today's on-demand world can quite replicate. But it wasn't only about what we watched, it was about how those images, in stark black and white, transformed the ordinary into something unforgettable. Most people today have never truly experienced the world in grayscale, but there was a time when shades of black and white shaped our dreams. The telly's monochrome world was never dull. In fact, it invited our imaginations to work overtime. With no color to guide us, we painted the scenes in our minds. A football pitch, lush and green in real life, appeared a flat, ghostly gray on match night, yet the roar of the crowd made it vivid as any modern broadcast. Sets were designed with bold contrasts and clever lighting. Directors and actors learned to use shadow and silhouette, and costumes had to stand out by tone alone. Every detail mattered more, precisely because so much was left unseen. The Doctor's enemies, those famous Daleks, looked positively chilling in stark black and white, their menace exaggerated by the grainy, flickering image. Old quiz shows and kitchen sink dramas seemed sharper somehow, stripped of color but not of meaning. You had to listen harder, watch closer, fill in the blanks yourself. There's something we've forgotten: the art of imagining together. Most viewers today have never squinted at a blurred face or wondered if that dress was blue or red. Grayscale TV asked us to meet it halfway, to participate in the magic. Was it limiting, or did it spark a deeper kind of creativity? Perhaps hidden in those shadows, we found not just stories, but a shared sense of wonder, one that is harder to find in the perfect clarity of the modern screen. Next, let's remember the shows that brought us all to the edge of our seats, Some evenings you could chart the nation's heartbeat by the theme tunes drifting from open windows. Coronation Street crackled to life, and instantly, kitchens emptied, kettles clicked off, children were shushed. Whole streets seemed to pause as Elsie Tanner U.S. latest drama unfolded in that terraced world of black and white. The Forsyte saga drew families into drawing rooms, everyone gripped by tales of love and loss beneath flickering gaslights. Before every show, there was ritual. The hurried washing up, the tray laden with mugs of tea, biscuits ready on a plate. Someone, often Dad, would fiddle with the aerial, trying for the clearest picture, muttering about ghosting or snow. The air smelled of cooked dinners and coal, and the anticipation was thick. With Blue Peter came a burst of childhood energy, sticky-back plastic and bottle tops, while the evening news felt weighty, important, something the whole family listened to together, even if half the words went over young heads. Certain shows became more than entertainment. They were family legends. Children would squabble over which character was best, or fill in the colors for themselves, imagining Ina Sharple's hat was red, or the Blue Peter ship was a shining gold. Watching together, we found laughter, debate, even the odd tear. TV wasn't just on. It was happening to us. And in those precious hours the living room became a world of its own. But television itself was about to change, in ways no one could quite imagine. There was a time, not so long ago, when the greatest excitement on any street was the rumor that the Wilsons, or the Smiths, or maybe even your own neighbors, had just got a color television. It was almost a neighborhood event. Children swapped stories in the playground, and grown-ups speculated over the garden fence. Did you see the match at theirs last night? You wouldn't believe the color of the football kits. The day you first saw television in color is hard to forget. Snooker, of all things, became a national sensation, not for the game itself, but because the reds and greens popped against that familiar green baize, dazzling anyone used to the old gray shadows. Suddenly, Blue Peter's garden was truly green, and the costumes of Doctor Who seemed to leap out at you. For many, there was a gasp, a sense that the future had finally arrived right there in the corner of the room. But for all that was gained, vividness, novelty, the sheer wow of it, something quieter slipped away. The sense of occasion dulled as TVs multiplied, becoming less rare and more routine. The first color set on the street drew crowds. A few years later, nearly everyone had one, and with abundance came a slow drifting apart. It was no longer necessary to pop round to the neighbors or pack the family together for that special viewing. The television still glowed, but the room felt just a touch emptier. Color changed the stories we watched, but it also changed how we watched. Some say we lost a little magic. The hushed excitement, the need to imagine, the ritual of watching as one. Perhaps in chasing clarity, we lost the lovely blur that brought us closer. Yet the change was irresistible, and the world pressed on, eager for more. But what, truly, did we leave behind as we marched forward? Looking back, it isn't just the programs or the picture that linger in memory. It is the feeling that television, in its earliest days, belonged to all of us at once. That heavy box in the corner was more than furniture. It was a quiet anchor, pulling family and neighbors together through habit and hope. We can almost hear the gentle click of the set powering up, the room dim except for that soft glow. There was a kind of magic in it, something precious, created not by the telly itself, but by the way we gathered around it, all eyes reflecting the same shimmering story. Today, we're spoiled for choice. 1,000 channels, on demand, a world of content always a swipe away. Each person, headphones in, curled up with their own device, binging alone, skipping through adverts, pausing and rewinding at will. There's freedom in it, no doubt. No need to wait for next week's cliffhanger, no fighting for the best seat. But with that freedom comes a subtle loss. Fewer shared moments, less of that electric anticipation, the unspoken comfort of simply being together. Maybe it was never truly about the screen or the signal, the color or the clarity. Maybe what we miss is the simplicity, a shared focus, a reason to draw close as daylight faded. Was it better back then, or is nostalgia just softening the edges of memory? In a world moving ever faster, there's something quietly valuable in remembering what it felt like to pause, to wait, to belong, if only for an hour each night. Yet, as our lives change, so does the meaning of watching telly. The question remains, would we ever trade what we have now for the warmth we left behind? Today, our screens are slimmer, brighter, and everywhere at once. Smart TVs in every room, endless streaming, stories on demand. We can revisit the classics at the touch of a button, share clips across continents, choose what to watch and when. But with all this abundance, it's easy to wonder if we've left something precious behind. Was it the simplicity of those black and white nights we're longing for? Or just the warmth of being together, bound by the same story at the same time? Perhaps there's no simple answer, only a longing for connection that outlives any technology. Maybe the best of yesterday and today isn't either-or, but the memories we carry forward and the moments we choose to share. What do you think? Would you trade today for yesterday?